Alright, well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the 2023 Ori Randomizer Doubles Tournament, and to the third round of the Swiss stage. It's going to be a weekend full of 7 matches, all better, and this is the first one of the third round between Dustforce Enthusiasts, consisting of Mattermonkey and AvengedRuler, and Bath, consisting of Halcyon and Cleanfel. This game's going to be exciting for sure. Both teams still have a chance to make it into the top 4 at 1-1 currently. Excited to see this game goes on and read this match on commentary. My name is Len Almanar. I'm joined today.
Hello, everyone.
And yeah, we're going to be getting started with this match in just a bit, about a minute or two till we start. And so, yeah, as I said, both these teams have done well so far in their matches, both 1-1. So it'll definitely be a good match, and we'll see how this goes once it starts.
Yeah, this round in particular in Swiss is very important. Both teams have won one and lost one, and so they are on the cusp, the very edge of possibly being able to make it. And we're going to see 2 more matches like that throughout the next 48 hours because, man, this is going to be a great weekend for Zamori. But the countdown has been started for runners for now, so we'll get to them in just a sec. But, Lion, always got to ask this question. What do you think, what do you hope that a runner's first form of progression will be in this seed?
I mean, it's always a good question. You could always, there's different answers to this. Like, you could always ask for something that's, like, nice and simple, something that's quick, or sometimes you feel like you just want something that's just, like, really mean. And, you know, at the moment, I'm kind of feeling like, I don't know, somewhere in between. You get something that's, like, think about it. But it's kind of like, just kind of thinking about, like, you know, you want to, there could be, like, something nice skill. We could get a dash start. We could get a, or we could get, like, you need Swamp TP and to get to Forlorn to then go from there and get, yeah.
Oh, Climb. Well, I was going to say Bashnade because I really like seeds where runners can split up. But with Climb, we might even see an early split because Climb does let you get into Blackroot. Well, some of the pickups there are really stupid with Climb. They're definitely possible. And with runners as experienced as these, we might see those. But we'll have to see if they will get enough Keystones to actually split up or if we're just going to have to see everyone do Blackroot right from the start. So Mattermonkey looks to be the first down. Oh boy, it's not super likely from here that we will get it 2 Keystones, and yeah, probably everyone will be heading into Blackroot then to start off their seed.
Yeah, we'll see that. Though there are still 2 more pickups they can get, as well as the first pickup underwater, so likely see some of the runners go and get those pickups while they collect some more XP so they can get the enough to level up and skip the 20-second cutscene at the start of Blackroot Burrows, because no one wants to sit there and watch a cutscene.
Yeah, notably, it looks like only one runner actually hugged the Rhino to get a little bit of bonus EXP, and that's Cleanfel. So, Clean might even be able to get enough from just hitting these spikes here blocking the path. Yeah, he's going to and will immediately turn back to use that ability cell to skip the cutscene. We're seeing Avenge also turn back immediately. Without that Rhino Hug EXP, was not able to skip the cutscene, so they get to watch a little bit of lore, while Clean, with that Rhino Hug, will be first to explore the darkness of Blackroot Burrows.
Yeah, another thing that Clean did briefly there as well was got a little bit of XP from one of the Frankie fight, just to make sure that he had enough to get that 25 that is needed to level up. They make their way down into Blackroot Burrows, where we see on the other side. At a risk of the first one to find, it's a mega health underwater. So that's an interesting pickup. You see how on the other side is actually going to be taking that mega health to get the other pickup and just barely doesn't quite get there. So still don't see what the other pickup underwater is just yet.
Yeah, those water pickups won't be in logic until we get clean water, but that could be anywhere, and with Clean himself blessing this seed by playing it, that might be sooner than we think. But Mega Health itself can't be progression, but that other thing might be. So we'll have to keep an eye out and remember that is down there. Additionally, if our runners do need to do some stupid damage boost later on in the run, if they remember that Mega Health is there, they can go pick it up in order to do some really, really fun stuff. Though you won't have to do any damage boosts in Sorrow, as that was one of the 3 areas at the very start of the run that we noticed were relicless. The other 2 being Ginso and Horu. So, in my opinion, that's a really good set of relicless areas. Those are typically not very fun areas to have to dig into, especially Ginso and Horu, which are both locked behind the shards.
Yeah, especially because these areas are both out of the way, and obviously they do need to get to Horu eventually to beat the game, but Horu is very difficult. Many of the pickups require Stomp, and that takes a long time, and so especially that, and with Ginso as well, it's just kind of like an extra out of the way area that just requires a lot more to get there. So yeah, I'll see. Really speed up the seed. Another thing I wanted to point out here that we have seen collectively between the teams, different runners so far, we have seen up to 3 energy cells so far. 2 additional pickups, 1 in Blackroot and 1 in one of the pickups in Glades. So there's a chance if we see a fourth energy soon that could be the progression early on to get over to the right side.
Yeah, and having energy is really helpful to even just play safety saves. Like we've seen a couple of runners take some slightly nasty falls down these Blackroot areas where climb is not what's intended to have here, but our runners will be making do. And Clean is already now the first one at the tree behind the Crushers found Wind Restores. That is not in logic without dash, and right now it doesn't do anything aside from make some of the backgrounds more pretty. But if our runners do find Glide, that could come in super duper handy, and Clean also finds a 4th energy cell. Maybe it is that our runners are supposed to take the Death Gauntlet escape towards our right side pretty soon.
Yeah, and so that is going to be the 4th energy. Then Clean, I believe, now knows where the other energy cell is going to go and grab that from Glades. I don't believe there was another keystone. I believe they've only found 1 keystone so far, so that may be the logical progression over there. I think the runners have checked, gone down to check to pick up the start of Boulder's escape, but that I could then go over, see, oh, never mind, I'm wrong. There are 2 keystones, so they can go into Glades.
And in fact, those 2 keystones are logical. Without a bunch of health or double jump, you can't get through the poison water in Death Gauntlet. So while it is absolutely something that our runners can do, it can be very risky and break logic, which still might see some runners do it, especially in double formats like this. It's often really nice to be able to get away from your partner and check different areas, which logic won't have us do yet, but with enough skill, our runners can pull it off. So we'll see where everyone else is headed to after they figure out that they now have 2 keystones from the dash tree and 4 energy from the lower Blackroot area, or the upper Blackroot area. But it looks like Mattermonkey is actually rising up on these translucent platforms, which is a little bit slow. I wonder if Mattermonkey wants to start heading down to get the teleporter for Blackroot Burrows. It's not easy with climb, nor is it logical, but it will help because our runners do need to come back to Blackroot later for the next, for the relic here. Which, yeah, Matter is going to go for it.
Yeah, and just see Hal on the bottom right down there as well. And they'll get the jump. It can be very difficult with just climb, and it is just a keystone. So now, not that much, but you can keep going here more. Remember, what we're seeing on the bottom right is out of logic. The logical progression is, as far as we know now, what our Cleanfel is doing in the top right, into Blades. We can see still what is here in our Blackroot, to see what other skills we might need, because remember, we did also find we're to store behind dash, and a lot of these pickups now are mostly locked behind dash. So, and there is the relic. So, let's see.
We also found the Grutter box. That's 2 of 8 already found, but our runners, well, they have that form of not really progression, but it is something they need to end the seed. They still have just climb and like not any skills at all. So we really need to find something to get us moving. Because while climb is nice, wall interaction is, handy to have, it doesn't open up all that much of the world. So Clean has already gone all the way down through wall jump tree and has not found anything except more keystones. So there's really
And
one area left to check before we will be finding some form of progression.
actually, I will say that didn't find anything until he got to wall jump tree, but down on the wall jump tree itself was a bash pickup.
Ooh.
So as you see that on the tracker, just to the bottom left of the screen in the top right, and he will be taking his 4 energy and the bash up into Death Gauntlet. He has 2 health now, so he's got to be a bit careful here, but will be able to make it up. And there's another relic. That is, in fact, the Grove relic, as the areas here are a bit confusing. Not the Grotto relic, as it might seem like it would be. And Clean won't be able to check that and pick up underwater, as he does not have an energy or enough health to do it. But will instead be able to keep moving out here and to Grotto.
That is a lot of really easy relics for our runners. 3 out of 8 are already known between both of our teams. So, I mean, I'm kind of hoping that we have a really awful one somewhere in Valley or Misty or Forlorn, because I like having to commentate long and interesting seeds. But for our runners, maybe it's a breath of fresh air to be like, okay, we don't have to look in any of these areas anymore. We can do our best to progress into areas like Grotto, which are also very dense and still don't have their relic revealed yet. So Clean right now is the only one over there, but Avenged now has Bash of their own. Could follow if they wanted to through Death Gauntlet. And Mattermonkey as well has unlocked Spirit Caverns to potentially check some of the pickups in there. But yeah, Mattermonkey saw that the wall jump tree has Bash from their partner and is making a beeline straight for it. Because Bash is fun and useful.
Yeah, it is. And there's just so much that they can do, and especially now knowing that the Bash can get them access to Death Gauntlet, they can then go through there, and there's another relic as well. That's
my God.
now that we see at the Grotto relic at Water Vein, and so it's an interesting thing you see with seeds like that, where there's sometimes you get a lot of the early relics, and for some areas it's a nice relief because then you don't have to check a lot there. Then it also can be sometimes a bit confusing than where you go, because a lot of times what you want to do is once you get 1 or 2 early relics, you will start checking areas where you haven't found the relic yet, so that you can spend more time in a more productive area. And so then you have to figure out, okay, where do I go now? Which do I go up to Swamp to try to find, see if there's the relic is there, or do you keep searching in Grotto because there's so many pickups in Grotto?
And it looks like Clean has decided to do the latter. We'll keep searching, which did benefit him already. Found double jump on the fall down. But in addition, our runners do have to remember, we've found the 4 relics in not Grotto, the other G's. Glaze, and Glaive, and Grove. God, there's so many G's in this name. Okay. But that leaves Swamp, and then left side. So our runners could maybe possibly make it to the left side by doing some of the stupidest tricks known to man. Actually, no, they don't have Blue Break. Never mind. But all that's really left for them then is Swamp, and just whatever pickups they can find to actually get progression. So I like Clean's play here. Grotto is super duper dense, and so digging through this area with that double jump and dash is pretty cozy, and we'll hopefully find him another skill, as there do tend to be quite a few skills in your average seed down here in Gumo's hideout.
And yeah, just saying, there's the chance that you could go up to Swamp, but like at the moment, it's really just like you just want to go and check the areas where you are and where there's a lot of pickups. It's already going into Grotto, so it's going to continue through Grotto for now. Meanwhile, on the right side, or on the left side, in the top left, we see Mattermonkey has gone through Spirit Caverns, has found a Gumon Seal Shard, and is going to be going all the way through Spirit Caverns and up to the Spirit Tree, and is making his way down to the Charge Jump Tree, or Charge Flame Tree. Not Charge Jump, not quite in Sorrow yet.
we might not even ever see Sorrow, but that's neither here nor there, um, because, well, there's not a relic there, and also, by the time our relic or our runners get to the left side, they're likely to have quite a bit. They all do have Wind Restored, which could make heading up into Sorrow pretty easy, especially if they need a lot of quick checks. Left side can be actually fairly dense, all things considered, and in a run like this, where trees aren't the goal, that might not be a bad play, but that is definitely for later, as for now, all of our runners are spreading out to various corners of the world to try and find another piece of progression. J-Hell's even doing mini boss, just typically a pretty slow pickup, but just really wants to make sure that, hey, if there is progression behind this door, me and my teammate will find it. And oh my god, what's that? It's Sorrow TP behind mini boss door. That's a really interesting pickup. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's something they can do with anything with quite yet. They would need either climb and charge jump. So in this case, since they already have climb, just charge jump or stomp to even be able to access anywhere from that TP. But with either of those skills, there is at least a few pickups that they can get into Sorrow, and with more skills, potentially even more. And that could be access to the left side, especially if they get charge jump without requiring stomp, which would be what I thought is the main path to left side without a teleporter. But we will see over on the other side. AvengedRuler is going and checking some pickups that have already been found in Grotto. Just catching up as Clean is now moving up into Swamp. See what is there.
Yeah, honestly, with the runner's luck so far, he'll probably find the pick or the relic within a couple of pickups here. But there isn't all that much left in the outer swamp loop. Clean definitely can get into the inner swamp loop by playing around with our good buddy Ringo. But hey, one boombuck. Shout out, thanks to Sigma for that. But just going through up this way is still quite a few pickups for Clean, as well as a quick ability to unlock Swamp TP, which can be very, very useful if our runners don't need to come back to Ginso just yet. But so far, there's been nothing, and actually, yeah, I think that is it for Outer Swamp Loop. Now Clean is actually going to grab the TP via this way. Maybe he'll go through Iceless later, but maybe he might even be going to Ringo? Yeah, he is. He's going to go play with this frog here in order to get into the swamp area proper early. The last area on this side of the map where our runners still need to find a relic.
Yeah, and there can't quite get everything here, so we don't have clean water yet, and there are a number of pickups that are locked behind clean water. However, there are still some that they can get here, and there's a chance, obviously, that the relic could be there. The relic could also be on the map zone deep underwater, which is not something they can get right now, and they would need at least either 3 or 4 health or clean water, which they do not have now. So yeah, we'll see if they do get the relic. But we may know, we may not know.
Also, speaking of health, the only health cells I believe we've seen the entire seed so far have been underwater. There was the Mega Health at the very start, and then Glide Vault held 1 health cell underwater, which some of our runners even have elected to scum, because, well, it's only 1 health. They can come back and get it later if they need it. But that means that, oh hey look, we're 15, 16 minutes into the seed. All of our runners except J-Hal are running on 3 health.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, especially in a seed like this, where you're getting a lot of relics quickly, and there's a chance that there could be a very quick seed. You might not get a lot of skills. It always be not, like, you always want to make sure that you have enough health, because you do need at least either 2 more health or ultra defense to finish the final escape. And so that is something that runners will have to keep in mind as we go on through the seed, as Clean continues to check pickups in Swamp. Now, teammate, it looks like it's going to be splitting off, as Clean has not found much of use in Swamp, and so that will be going over into Grove instead.
I am absolutely loving what Clean is doing with this seed right now. Having Bash in the hands of a high-level runner like Clean means that so much is accessible through some crazy double bash chains. Clean managed to clear out pretty much all of the non-waterlogged pickups in Swamp just by double bashing mortar projectiles, double bashing fish, and some really, really cool chains to see. Unfortunately, nothing was really there aside from a water vein shard, but which they don't technically need to complete the seed. But still good knowledge for Clean and Jehal, Team Koo's Birdbath, to get on their side as they continue to keep hunting. Everyone continues to keep hunting. They just need something to get into left side and to find wherever that last relic is hidden in Swamp.
And as you see now a bunch of pickups being checked here. There is a Forlorn TP that has now found in the Spider Lake area, which could definitely be useful. And one Gumon Steel Shard is on the map. There is only one more Gumon Shard that will be needed for them to be able to get into Forlorn, which I believe does have a relic, if I remember correctly.
Yes, it does.
So that is somewhere that they will need to go. So it is always very useful to have that early.
However, it should be noted, in seeds with shards as the dungeon keys, in order for the dungeon to be in logic, all 5 shards must place. So since we found so few of them, it's not really likely that Forlorn is intended logic. Now, with our runners finding so many relics so quickly, they might not care about intended logic. They might just want to get to places where they can check more pickups and relics. But in the back of their minds, hopefully they will remember that somewhere on the right side, there does need to be something more to get our runners to progress further on, in logic, at least.
Yeah, and one of those things is something that Clean did just find a minute ago, just below the Sea Flame tree, which is the Stomp skill, and that is, at the moment, very useful, as that does give Clean access into Valley, which is where he is going to be going now. These blue walls can be stomped, and there is still no blue break, which is also one of those things that you normally get one of those 3 skills of. And as I say that, there is the blue break locked behind the blue wall as Sea Flame, so we will maybe be taking that to go and check more pickups around the Grove area, or instead be going over to Valley, as that is now accessible with both Bash and Stomp.
Yeah, that Stomp pickup was really huge for Koo's Birdbath. Not only, of course, did it unlock left side, but it also unlocked blue breakage. So like Mattermonkey here is standing right on top of a blue break pick on their side that they can't break without Sea Flame, which they don't have access to, or Grenade, which who knows where on earth Grenade is going to be at this point. So by Koo's Birdbath grabbing both of those skills, that's a 2-skill advantage over Dustforce Enthusiasts, which can be a lot of pickups. Hopefully for the sake of having a fair and fun to watch race, Dustforce Enthusiasts will come upon that shortly here, but honestly, who knows? There is so much to search with just Bash and right side, and potentially Stomp might be the only logical pickup here, which, oh man.
Yeah, and especially now also, we see the other pickup is Dash, was found at the orb just to the left of Spirit Tree by Hal. Just not quite enough points to get Charge Dash just yet, but that is still a huge pickup to find. It's a lot faster, and it's just all unfortunate now for Dustforce Enthusiasts, as the skills that they have missed are now kind of all in like one specific kind of chain of logic, kind of in one area together in Glades, which is not where they are at the moment. Just in one pickup that is normally something that you don't think about a lot, because it's in Glades early. You need to get Dash to get it. And now we're just going to be seeing Clean go and pick up that Dash now, and we'll likely be following Hal into Valley just afterwards.
Once they're both on left side, they'll be able to search for the 3 relics over here, those being Valley, Forlorn, and Misty, although I guess they can't search Forlorn yet because they don't have enough shards to get in. But yeah, just by having access to all of these pickups over here and all of these potential relic checks, God, I really hope that Dustforce Enthusiasts can manage to get where Clean did to find that stomp pickup. We do see, at least, I missed it almost entirely because Clean did it so quickly, but Mattermonkey is going for the same double bash chain on this mortar projectile. Does manage to break it, so that is probably the harder part, but doesn't make it up. We'll have to do that C-Bash chain again, a little bit easier, since they don't have to get the projectile up, they just have to get Ori up, but yeah. So still showing off some great skill from that side of our race. Just not, the luck needed to find that one stomp pickup that their rivals have already obtained.
And you now see on the other side in the bottom right, Hal has made his way through Valley pretty quickly and is now going to be checking these pickups in the lower area of Valley. Does now have Charge Dash, I believe, or is very close. I didn't see entirely, but we'll be getting these pickups here, and that is a health cell. That is something that's nice in this seed. I believe it's not quite doesn't quite have enough ability cells to get Charge Dash. However, he will be trying to use these frogs and can just double bash one of them up to get into Misty Woods. There's no relic in Sorrow, so Misty at the moment is the more appealing area to go to. That's where we likely will see our runners go. So he'll just have the trouble trying to get up. I wonder if he forgot to get the teleporter, and that's just trying to climb all the way back up. No, he did get the teleporter, and will now be going back up to go over towards Misty. As Clean has made his way through Valley as well, and they will likely be building up to check different pickups in this left side.
Yeah. Is JL? Okay, yeah, JL is definitely going for Misty, it seems. Is going to once again have to do the frog bash up, but this time does manage to get a clean double bash chain. I'm not sure what to make here of this Misty play. Misty is a very long and windy area, and if JL does have to leave without collecting the relic, that means going through all of it all over again on the second pass. And there is a pickup in here that is still locked by Grenade. So if that does end up being a relic, first off, it'll be like the first Rue relic that we've seen so far. But second off, oh man, our runners will have to find Grenade and come all the way through the entirety of Misty. JL has got to be hoping that is not the case, because right now this Misty play has a small chance to just, screw him. You have to do it all over again. But there are a couple more pickups to be found along the way, but with every one, the chance that it is grenade locked goes higher and higher.
And if it's not, it still does. Can take a long time to get through Misty, but yeah. And there's a chance as well that Grenade is one of these pickups on the right side of the map, and one of the things that like in Ori Fields where Mattermonkey is checking now, which see it could be anywhere at the moment except for in somewhere that's grenade locked. We'll see if, and that could be one of the things that gives Dustforce Enthusiasts an advantage and a chance to get kind of back into this race. Although Avenged has found the Stomp pickup and is now making his way over to the entrance to Valley, and will likely be finding the Charge Flame and Dash as well.
Yeah, that does mean that we know where the or sorry, not that, but Cleanfel did find the Valley relic down outside Forlorn. So between both runners in Koo's Birdbath, they have just about every relic already found. The only exceptions are a couple of potentially really nasty ones, but like potentially underwater in Swamp or grenade locked in the end of Misty, which we are seeing J-Hell now come to about the halfway point of Misty, where we normally would get Climb, even though we've had it in this run for 8 years, but so far no Misty relic. There are only a couple pickups left in the back half, and one of them again is grenade locked. So I'm really sweating here for J-Hell. Although if they don't find it, it'll bring the race closer, as both teams will need to find grenades somewhere. But oh man. Dustforce Enthusiasts are making up ground now that they have Stomp, both of them heading into Valley entry. Avenge has so far skipped Dash, but Mattermonkey is still around, might grab it after grabbing Sea Flame. We'll have to see. Please, Mattermonkey, grab Dash. I want this to be a close race. It's not the most intuitive pickup, but oh, okay. Okay, yes. Matter is going to lure the bird out over here. We'll be finding Dash for their team. And now all of our runners know where the same set of skills are.
Yeah, except for one other thing that's not entirely a skill, but the world event of clean water was something that J-Hal did find in Misty Woods,
Ooh.
which could just a couple pickups before the tree, and there is the relic as well. And Clean did end up finding the relic in Swamp. It was in the Stomp Egg underwater, just before the door to get towards the tree. So not something that was necessarily required. Clean water, or for runners at least. This wasn't one of the pickups that needed a lot of health, but now the only thing that Gooseberg Bath really needs to finish the seed off is a get to Forlorn, which at the moment would require just one more Kumon Steel Shard.
J-Hal's play to Misty really paid off there. Not only finding clean water for, Cleanfel to go pick up later, but also the relic was not grenade locked. So all they need to do at this point is get into Forlorn, like you said. Potentially, there could be some Gumon Seal Shards still left in the back half of Misty, but for a ton of them to be there would not be very common. So both Clean and J-Hal will be running around doing their best to find those. And once they do, yeah, they're probably just going to go straight there so they can finish off the seed. Meanwhile, Mattermonkey and Avenged are also both now into Misty. It looks like Avenged has not gone back to grab Dash yet, but might be doing that literally as I speak. Yeah. So they have their entry to left side. We'll see if they decide to make that risky Misty play as well, because if they do, it'll find them clean water, and then they will know that it's not grenade locked.
And the other thing that I wanted to point out as you're saying this has been a very fast seed, but the thing I want to mention is that there's only been one Sunstone Shard that has been found this whole seed. Clean and Matter both have one. I did not catch where that is, but so there will still be at least 2 more pickups required to get into Horu as well. So shards really are the main.
Was on Sea Flame tree. Thanks to our
so that is something that if Clean remembered that how will these be able to go back and get not too far out of the way, but they do still need at least 2 more or 1 more and the teleporter along with the Kumon Seal Shard. So there's plenty of places that they still could be searching, as we see Clean is now searching through Lower Blackroot. Think about everything again without grenade in this area, and we'll then have to go and search for other areas, as we see now with clean water is going to be checking the swim in Swamp, as it was right in the area, and this is no pickups that can be checked, so the shards can really be anywhere as far as we know, aside from in the dungeons.
Yeah,
nice.
Honestly, Sunstone Shards could also be in Ginso as a dungeon. They can't be in Horu, obviously, because you can't lock the keys within its own dungeon. But if the logic of the seed potentially really required our runners to go to Ginso, it could scatter a bunch of water vein shards everywhere, and then hide all of the Sunstone Shards within Ginso, which would require a Ginso visit, which I like. I like Ginso. Ginso's fun. And again, our runners also have Bash and Double Jump, which makes the verticality really fun. The only thing that would make it better would really be Charge Jump, which they might find while, continuing to look for all these shards that they need to get into Forlorn and Peru and maybe Ginso, but we'll have to see where everyone ends up going and checking. Right now, J-Hal looks like he might be making a play for Sorrow, which, while Sorrow is another optional area, it is pretty dense, like I mentioned before, so not the worst place to look for shards or skills. Even if they don't have Glide to make Sorrow, it's still doable for a skilled runner like J-Hal.
Yeah, Sorrow it can be very difficult with the current skill set with only 6 health and no glide or charge jump. But it's definitely still doable. There's many pickups that can still be checked in Sorrow, especially with Bash. And so we'll see what he does find in Sorrow if there are any shards there. But glide could be somewhere, right? And then it could be required that because they do have wind, so it could be required that they get glide, and then they glide from Sorrow and then find the shards of Sorrow. Speaking of shards, Clean did also find one in the Spider Sack area. I believe it was on the health cell. So that is access to Forlorn now as well. So it's now just Horu. And Clean is going to be going in, grabbing that Forlorn TP in just a second here.
I do also want to note, Avenged on the bottom left is also making the Misty play. Again, this is a risk, but it's a risk that Hal took for Ku's Birdbath, and it paid off. So Avenged for Dustforce Enthusiasts will take the same risk, has already found clean water, and will be finding that the relic is not grenade locked. So nothing too important needed for that side to get through to Misty. But maybe, again, there could potentially be a shard down there that our runners don't know about, but with Forlorn unlocked, or at least us casters know that Forlorn can be unlocked, there definitely could just be straight up go there, go jet, and then hope that more shards are in there. It's a potentially pretty late game area. If the seed didn't want us to go to Horror until late, that could be where all the shards are, maybe.
Yeah, and at the moment, Clean does have access to get into Forlorn. Does have 2 shards and did pick up a teleporter. But it's interesting, he's going to be going through Misty for now. This is so an area that knows where the relic is, knows where it needs to go. It won't take that long. While Hal is going and searching other areas, and does find glide above Swamp TP, which is another skill that they can use and will make, does want to go back to Sorrow, will make Sorrow a bit easier.
Yeah, glide is a huge comfort skill at this point in the game, which doesn't mean that it's like 100% required. We might see Clean in attack skip it, even though he knows where it is. But, you know, just for having some comfy skills towards the end of the game, that's really nice to have. So, and again, as like you mentioned, Sorrow is still an option, as what we currently still have just the 1 Sunstone shard on the entire map, under or on Seaflame Tree. But another comfy thing here on Clean screen, Clean will bless his own seed with clean water. Again, that's just super duper comfy, and will be now able to beat the final escape even with the basically 0 health that Clean has picked up throughout this entire seed.
Yeah.
Honestly, Avenged didn't matter too. Like, no one has any sort of health that I would consider decent except Hal.
Yeah, and he's not the one that is going into Forlorn. Has went back and cleaned up the shards and will be now up here to get the objective pickups in Forlorn. So we know there is a relic here. Not quite gonna be able to get that, but does eventually get the keystone. That is a lot of experience in Forlorn right there. And we'll see. Pickups. Forlorn, there's still decent amount of pickups here, and they do have access to be able to get everything so far. Forlorn, whereas Clean now is going to pick up the 7th relic, as a relic in Forlorn is not on the top 3 pickups, so it's either geared towards the entrance or over in the back on one of the other 2 stomp block pickups, or on one of the 3 pickups.
Ooh, look at Clean. Look at Clean up here. I really like this play. Even though they have found the Misty Relic, Clean is still going to go deeper in. Just wants to make sure at this point that there are no Horu or Sunstone shards locked deep in Misty. So if there are, Clean will be fighting them, and that'll be the nice knowledge. If he doesn't, well, then he can continue to search elsewhere. Hal, once Hal finds the Forlorn relic, which can only be on a couple last pickups here, but Okay, Clean is going to TP out. The only pickups left after this point in Misty are the Grenade Lock pickup, which Clean can't get, doesn't have Grenade, and the actual vanilla location of the Gumon Seal, which is a horrible pickup location that no one should ever have to check. So yeah, Clean will now be coming over to Forlorn, where on JHL screen we have found the Forlorn Relic, and Ku's Birdbath now has knowledge of 8 out of 8 relic locations.
Yeah, however, they do still only have one Sunstone Shard, so you're still missing 2 pickups to be getting into Sorrows, or into Horu. So there's still a chance that there could be more pickups here, and we do see Clean here going and checking the pickup on the Forlorn Escape. He didn't want to do there's the Escape. I don't believe that could be done with the skill set, as he has not found Glide yet, so it is doable, be very difficult, so I don't think we're going to see Clean go through the whole Forlorn Escape. We'll just be checking this pickup here, so we don't know for sure if Grenade is required, but it'd be useful to know the location, as there could be Sunstone Shards locked behind Grenade for sure.
That would honestly be the only thing that would make Grenade, useful at this point. I mean, it'd still be useful for bashes, just helping speed up movement, but the runners do also have, dash, which is fast, obviously. So, yeah, Clean is not going to go through and find that hint. Instead, he's going to keep looking just like JHL is. All they can really do at this point is search in as many pickups as they can to try and find shards. Sunstone shards are optimal, but Watervein shards would also be nice, as it would at least let them start checking Ginso as well.
And this has also become where seeds like this, where you get so many pickups early on, and like so many skills where you can just kind of really go through the whole map, and it can be challenging for teams to figure out what pickups they've already checked, what pickups they haven't already checked, and figure out what the best way is to get all the remaining pickups that they haven't gotten yet. We do see on Clean side, in Stomp blocked side, right Forlorn on the health cell is the second Sunstone Shard, so now just one more pickup needed to get into Haru. Either teleporter.
Yep, and there are a total of 4 pickups on the map that could potentially be that last Horu shard or the teleporter. I mean, the runners would like the teleporter, but I think at this point, with how jet of a seed this has been, Clean and JHL just want anything to get their access into Horu. JHL even is like right up on Horu's door, maybe hoping that he'll find a Sunstone right here and then be immediately granted access. But we did already see, I believe it was Matter, check this area, so unfortunately not going to be some free Sunstone shards for him. And man, where's really left to look aside from Sorrow and Ginso? We don't even have Watervein shards either, so are they just all in Sorrow? Is that what you think? I think that's what I think.
I mean, Sorrow's definitely possible. I mean, they've checked most of Grotto. I believe there are still most of the blue break lock pickups and most of the plants in Grotto. I believe have not been checked, as there was no blue breakage once they got that, because the blue breakage they found was in Valley Entry. So, and it looks like Clean is going to check those pickups now, as these plants just were not something that they could get at the moment. Clean is also going to be checking the far left pickup in Grotto here. This is a bit of a pain to get normally, but there's a Watervein shard there, and another one as well, Grotto, so that could also potentially be the location where they need to go.
Yeah. Again, I definitely do want to see that, because, I like long seeds, especially when commentating. It's fun to watch Ori, but Clean will be scumming at least one of those. He'll remember the location, hopefully, in case, ends up that all of the Sunstone shards left are in Ginso. But for now, we'll just be continuing to search through. It actually looks like both runner. No, is he going back? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I like this. Clean. Get the Watervein shard. Go to Ginso, please, 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 please.
Yeah, and it looks like he is doing this. Obviously, they do not have the teleporter yet, so it's going to have to be going up from the bottom of the Ginso tree. The swamp teleporter, or the Grotto teleporter, actually, is Clean does not have the swamp teleporter, but as he goes up there, may also find his glide over by the swamp TP, as on the other side, Hal is making his way through Forlorn and is going to be getting that second Sunstone shard. on the other side, Matter is now making his way through Misty, and they are and will be collecting that relic and going out and into Forlorn. Both runners on Dustforce Enthusiasts have access to Forlorn now, and so they can go and find the relic there. So they are also now depending. See, they're still missing a couple relics. They have not quite found the relic in Forlorn yet, and they still have not gotten back the one in Swamp, I believe. Or oh, it looks like Avenge did get that. So they're the other side, as we've been more focused on Kuzbarbath as they did get their relics first. It's now really just rush to see who can get the Sunstone Shard and see. We'll see if it's somewhere that Clean and Hal are checking, either in Sorrow or in Ginso, or if it ends up being somewhere else. And see if the other side does find it first, because that could be one important thing that could change the tide of the race in the end.
Honestly, I do think this race will come down to just whoever finds access to Horu first at this point. As soon as Avenge gets down to the entrance of Forlorn, which won't be very long from now, the Team Dustforce Enthusiasts will have knowledge of all 8 relics as well. So they're going to have to do the same thing we see Clean and J-Hal do. Just check for Sunstone shards, even if it means going to an area that is relicless. Or in fact, going to both areas that are relicless, as we see J-Hal in Sorrow and Clean in Ginso. It'll be interesting to see which of them finds a relic and what the other one does, because Clean has the water veins to get here, to get to Ginso, but J-Hal does not. Meanwhile, J-Hal got the Sorrow TP to get to Sorrow quicker, but Clean does not. So it'll be interesting to see who of them decides to follow their friend after that final, really all-important Sunstone Shard is found.
Yeah, and it's like Matter also on the top left does have access to Ginso now with the water vein shards that he has found in Grotto. And so could potentially go there. For now, it doesn't look like it. Just continuing to check at least a few more pickups. Grotto, as we do see Clean moving up into Ginso. Now we're kind of getting into the more pickup dense areas in Ginso. So far, this is just a Gumon Seal Shard that we found. Another one. But Hal has actually found the Sunstone Shard in Sorrow. So Clean is going to be TPing out immediately and is be going and finding that last Sunstone Shard and making it to Sorrow. Going to Sorrow to find the Sunstone Shard to make it over to Horu.
That's not a bad location, not a bad location at all, especially since Clean did pick up Glide and can now just simply float up or rocket jump up Sorrow all he wants, just to race to that one single pickup that he needs to finish out this run. He's actually out of energy, but will quickly grab another. And with that, yep, Clean is up, and there is his final Sunstone Shard as well. So now both J-Hal and Clean are racing straight to Horu, because they've had all relics for quite a while now, and that means that all they need to do is get into Horu, get out of the final escape, and they will win this race. It doesn't look good for Team Dustforce Enthusiasts, unfortunately. They have shown off a bunch of skill, but just not being able to find some of those key pickups like Stomp and these Sunstone Shards as quickly has been cost them too much time in the end.
Yeah, and it does look like Avenge will be finding at least one of those missing Sunstone Shards here as he makes his way over to the right side of Forlorn. As in the bottom right, J-Hal is attempting his Thorp, doesn't get it on the first try, but they've still got plenty of time, as Clean is following just behind, and he makes it into Haru. Matter's just getting relic, and Forlorn now just missing one more in Blackroot, so all 8 relics are known for Dustforce Enthusiasts, and there is the second Sunstone Shard. So just one more Sunstone Shard needed on their side as well, but we'll see if they do choose to go to Star to find that, or if they do find another one somewhere else.
Yeah, notably, I don't believe either of Team Dustforce Enthusiast has that Sorrow TP. that was on the mini-boss in Grotto, which isn't a pickup that everyone always checks because fighting mini-boss is slow and dumb and boring. But they'll maybe find some other way up. Again, Glide is not in an awful place, and all of our runners have Wind Restored at this point. But we do on the right, Who's Bird Bath to them. Watching a bird scream, Clean will be the first one to get 59 leaves, head into the final escape. It's definitely doable with this skill set, maybe a little tricky, not having great verticality without charge jump or dash room, but definitely doable. You can get the dash room, through a couple more rooms using Stomp and Seaflame both to break walls, past this elemental. Again, does have clean water, and like did manage to find either a mega health or quite a bit of health, which was a worry that we had earlier in the run, but not now. So we'll see what Clean decides to do. Yep, Clean's gonna go play with this fish, who we have affectionately named Jeremy, take the fish with him up the final chute, and rocket jump. There it is. Clean just needs to complete a little bit of a walking sequence, and that'll be GG for him. Meanwhile, J-Hal right behind, like literally, what, 5 seconds behind? These runners are so in sync and so tight with each other. GG, great job to Koo's Bird Bath.
And it's actually, as we see, Cleanfel started actually a few seconds early, so even though it looks like a few seconds, it's actually almost exactly tied. If you look at the timers.
Oh my god.
This thing, we'll see who actually ends up being first. It's very, very close. They're within a second or two.
That would be so cool if they actually tied. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's thing. That happened. It looked like Al had a bit of a lead going into Haru, but door up is hard, and so we'll see. And on the other side, after they've finished, it does look like Avenged is making his way into Sorrow. Does have that glide, and so should be finding that Sunstone Shard only within a couple minutes. They don't have access to get to the main part of Sorrow from Charge Jump Tree, where it's going now, but we'll be able to go back around from the teleporter and find Sunstone Shard. It won't take that long. So even though in the start it did look like they were the Dustforce Enthusiasts were like pretty far behind once Stomp and Dash and Charge Flame were found, or Stomp Dash and Charge Flame were found, in the end, it's not that big of a difference.
Yeah, it honestly might have just been that one pickup. I wasn't, counting at the time to see how many minutes there were before or between when Who's Bird Bath found Stomp and when Dustforce Enthusiasts did, but just that one unlucky pickup, it did waste quite a bit of time that Who's Bird Bath was able to make progression, while Dustforce were still looking. And with that, yeah, that will be the end of this race, at least for Team Who's Bird Bath, who finished with a 49-27 and a 49-29. So not exactly a tie, but only 2 seconds apart. What an incredible showing of teamwork and skill from Cleanfel and Halcyon, who will be moving up into the 2-1 group with a decent shot at making the final bracket if they can win their next match, which if they keep the skills that they've shown off today, I think they can absolutely do it.
Yeah, for sure. They will see how that up going next week, once that match happens. But now, yeah, it's a very good performance for them, and yeah.
So we do have Cleanfel and J-Hal on deck. So we're gonna ask them some questions just for now, while Dustforce Enthusiasts will also continue to check for their final Sunstone Shard. So let's bring them in. Hal, Cleanfel, GG's on your race.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course, of course. So this seed, first off, was really, really generous with those relic placements. You had none of them in some of the more higher up areas that would require a lot of verticality, and you found so many of them within the first 15 to 20 minutes. What was going through your heads and through your chat? All of that early game relic hunting was being done for you.
I think it was mostly just where do we dig now? We've got the early game relics, where do we go? We don't have a relic pointing us to say, dig in this area.
Yeah, when it came down to like just looking for the shards, we usually go to areas that don't have a relic. But we had like 0 water vein shards. Didn't have glides, so we were like, we can't go to the areas that we usually do, or at least the game isn't telling us we should go there. And yeah, relics were just a formality at that point. We were just, well, shard hunting all the way until we felt comfortable with the final escape.
Yeah. Although there was one shard that I in the caster booth was pretty worried about. So, J-Hal, what were you thinking was your plan going into Misty, potentially leaving a grenade lock pickup or more shards deep in there? And what were you feeling in terms of like relief possibly when you did manage to find the relic in a decent place as well as an actual progression thing in clean water?
You know, I wasn't actually even thinking about the grenade lock pickup. I was like, we need relics. Clean, go to Valley. I'm gonna go to Misty. We'll, either I'll find it or we'll know where it is and maybe get some information along the way. But that was kind of the thought, was just split up, go to different areas with relics, and maybe we'll find them. And it's a pretty good percentage play, I think, going to Misty without grenade. It just really sucks when it goes against you.
Yeah, and I went ahead at like after I grabbed my relic, we were still only on 1, I believe. So I said, I'll let Hal know the unfortunate news if he has to retrek through Misty. So I went all the way up to, what was it, the one before the grenade lock pickup, like that little area with the keystone, the health, the ability cell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once we were shard hunting.
Yeah, for information, we did just see Avenged did just find grenade, and it was actually on Kuro's perch, so it was right above you going in.
That's funny.
It wasn't needed. So we do see that Avenged has found another Sunstone shard in Sorrow, not the one that you guys found actually, a different one in Sorrow, and
yeah, it looks like Matter found the one that we found.
Yep. Yeah, going on to their final escape. So while they do that, Lion, do you have any more questions?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask sort of like, what's really your like, how do you like think about once you get a seed like this where you're kind of like focusing on the relics and you get all the relics, but then you get all the relics and you realize, oh, we still need like 3 shards to finish the game. Kind of like, what are you like kind of your thought process of like where you go to like figure out like how you're searching, especially since you have all the relics, so it's not like there's an area where you can really search where you still need a relic for shards.
Yeah, I think the first priority is for the players that are missing a certain relic, go back to that area and dig further. Like Hal found the Blackroot relic and then said, okay, I'm gonna go back there, but once I found it, I'm gonna go straight into lower Blackroot because we didn't check that area at all. So similarly, I think for Hal's side, when like we didn't have the swamp one right away, but then we had like clean water, so we could go to all the swamp swim and stuff. So I think that's what he did. So just going back for the relics that we're missing, but as well as being a little more deeper in the areas.
Yeah, so going for those, the relics, we know where the relic is, but yeah, just really mining out that area to make sure we've got what's there, and then after that it's just what's dense, where can we get a lot of pickups that we haven't touched yet. And that was the Ginso play. Once Clean found a full water vein, it was like, well, you may as well. Worst case, I can go scoop those up, but in the meantime I'll go to Sorrow and look there.
Yeah, those shards basically made up for how easy the relics were in terms of this overall seed. So I was glad, at least from a commentary point, to have that really interesting search and hunt there that you both did going through the end game, and that Dustforce Enthusiasts have also done. Mattermonkey has finally rocket jumped right up through the final escape and is ending. AvengedRuler, starting the escape on their end, will be following shortly.
Especially performance for them to be able to close in the seed. They did end up finding those last few shards relatively quickly. Though it did take a minute to try to get out of the area from this RTP, which can be very difficult, especially with the skills they had. So still very impressive showing at the end from the Dustforce Enthusiasts, as Avenged is going to be finishing up the second half of the escape and will be way over to the end of just about a minute.
One more question in terms of the actual race itself. Clean and J-Hall, what were you guys thinking? Not in terms of finding relic or shards, but when you found Stomp, because that had been something that everyone had to search for quite a while. Did you guys think you were ahead or behind, or is it just like, okay, we finally have side access and progression, go, 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 go?
Yeah, basically exactly what you said. I don't think we were necessarily behind. I think we managed the right side of the map pretty well without Stomp. Like it doesn't besides the hard lock pickups, it doesn't hurt us in a way, like leaving that behind for a second. But exactly as you said, Stomp, which had a crazy snowball effect. It was Stomped and the charge flame and the dash just all in one swoop. So yeah, that was our okay. We're all set. Let's start going. And that was that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, I had the internal thought of, that we might be way behind, but in either case, it was, oh, we have Stomp, we have, I was following him I was heading over to get Charge Flame, just to have blue breakage, and then found Dash, and, I was, I couldn't even get out where it was. It was just dash, 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 dash. Clean, look at my stream, see where I am.
Yeah, it's that pickup where it's it used to for so long be hard locked to 100 XP because of the game being weird, but we patched it now, so that pickup is always funny to me, at least now that it's actual progression.
But yeah, at that point it was just go, 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 let's get left, let's grab what we need to and find out what we need to figure out from there.
Yeah. And with that, Avenged and Mattermonkey, Team Dustforce Enthusiasts have also finished up. So I'm going to pull them in, ask a few questions to them before we finish up everyone's next race potential. So let's bring them in quick. Hello, Team Dustforce Enthusiasts. GG on your run.
GG, guys.
GG's.
So that was, like we've been talking about with Clean and J-Hall, a very, very interesting seed. And I'd like to start at the start. So at the very beginning, you guys were finding every relic under the sun, basically for free. So what was going through your minds, Matter and Avenged, when you were seeing all these relics and not a bunch of skills to actually progress the main state of the game?
So exactly what was going through my mind is, this is a jet seed, we're screwed.
Well, shards would beg to differ with that first assessment,
but it's very interesting. I don't think I've ever had a World Tour seed that gave the relics quite so freely.
Yeah. I think the worst, in my opinion, was Misty, which you guys also went in without having Grenade and without having a lot of shards. So what was the plan on that for you guys then? Were you just we need to get the relic, or did you forget about the grenade lock pickup? Did you just think, okay, we're just going to get as much as we can? What was the thought process behind that Misty dive?
Oh, we knew about the grenade locked pickup, but we were hoping for the best, that it wasn't there, and that paid off. It was a good way to, work towards the main goal, while also checking things that may have been shards.
Yep, and a lot of what I try to route around, which I heard from some streams recently, is just kind of going for the objectives and then figuring out the other stuff after that if you need to.
I like that train of thought, and it did in fact end up being, not the worst pickup in Misty. So, nice.
That pickup was rough with 4 HP, by the way.
I will be perfectly honest. I did it casual. I went all of the different flowers that pop up and you're supposed to climb on and such.
Yeah,
I just rode all of those.
I accidentally killed the Frankie, so I also had to do that. But I did a light version of it where I dashed off one of the middle platforms to get there. It was really cool.
Well, it did work out for everyone. Avenged Matter, I also want to ask, when you found Stomp, was the first skill in like what felt like an hour? Were you thinking you guys were ahead or behind? Were you just like, no thoughts, have been empty, we have left side access, brr?
It was mostly the last one, to be honest. I didn't really think
Yeah.
about whether we were ahead, but definitely left side right now was the plan.
Yeah, because at the time I was thinking it's probably Gladezer, and then I remembered on the way to Gladezer we wouldn't have gotten this pickup yet, and oh, that's Stomp. Yeah, left side, go.
Well, great minds think alike, as that was what everyone did as soon as they grabbed that pickup. It just so happened that you guys found it a little bit after Koo's Birdbath, unfortunately. Lion, do you got anything else you want to ask our teams?
I was just gonna ask for just kind of like the for Avenged Matter as well. Once you kind of like get to that in game, see where you have all the relics, but then you're kind of still searching for like shards, and then like kind of like so you're like thought process of like where do you go to try to like find the last like at that point it's just the Sunstone shards, try to find the Sunstone shards that you're missing to just get to Haru.
Yeah, so when I'm kind of figuring out a route in my head with me and Matter, I try to just think of areas we really haven't touched at all and try to do those kind of first. So in this case, it was Sorrow has a bunch of density. We haven't touched it at all. Sunstone shards could be there. Someplace like Ginzo would probably be pretty good on that same train of thought, but shards have been pretty scattered that seed. I know we had 3 water vein shards, but I don't think I had all of them at the time.
Yeah, I mean, one of the answers is wherever you are currently. Like when I was picking up the Blackroot relic, I dipped into lower Blackroot a bit to get the easy ones there. But beyond that, yeah, you just head for the densest places you can, I think.
Honestly, between asking both teams a lot of the similar questions, it's really fun to hear how you guys think in very much the same ways between these teams. And it might have just come down then to the luck of finding a couple different pickups earlier or later that in the end did decide this race. But that's just how the cookie crumbles in the end. And so, Dustforce Enthusiasts, you guys are at this point 1 and 2, which this is the first race of round 3, but potentially heading into round 4, you could face a bunch of different teams. Is there anyone that on the list that you'd want to see, maybe want to avoid? Any thoughts on that?
I'll be entirely honest, I don't know who is in the 1-1 bracket at the moment to be able to say. There are a lot of teams I'd love to face up against in this tournament. I mean, even the O2 people could face up against us next round, depending on how the bracket goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it could be almost anyone.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anybody necessarily in particular I'm thinking about.
Yeah, the Swiss is such an exciting format. So best of luck to you two guys in the next week. And also best of luck to Koo's Birdbath, who are heading up 2 and 1. Again, you could face like just about anyone on the board. Is there anyone you want to see or want to avoid in your contention to get into the final bracket?
I'm not sure if there's like a specific, but I think Hal and I are just saying here, we're showcasing our skills here, and you know, we're gonna put it the pedal to the metal in week 4. So it's all on the line here. So I think that's the big takeaway heading into week 4. I don't know about Hal, at least.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. You know, we're pretty confident with what we can do. We just don't want to wind up seeing team story time. So we'll be rooting for them.
And I think that will do it for this stream, this race today. So we do still have a lot more this weekend. As a matter of fact, tomorrow, we will be hosting 3 races back to back to back in a row. That'll be Illogical Zone versus Blind Wisp, Infinite Turtles versus Bizarre Adventures, and then Twice the Baguette versus #Free Leaf Emoji. Those will be coming up. I don't know the UTC times, but Central Standard Time, they are 10 a.m., 12 p.m., and 2 p.m. So again, back to back to back. If you want more reaction, do not miss it. But again, that's it for today. So I'd like to thank our restreamer, 2Kill, for helping us out, as well as for doing trucking alongside our referee, Liftoff. So thanks to those two for pulling double duty and doing a lot of great work. Thanks as well to Lion Almanar for helping me commentate this amazing race, as well as thanks to our runners for showing off some awesome Ori. And thanks to you for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can catch us all for some more Ori in the Blind Forest Randomizer doubles tournament coming soon tomorrow.